We're on our Spendthrift Road to the Kentucky Derby once again on Saturday. We go back to Florida, although we go on the opposite side of the state this time. We go to Tampa Bay Downs for the Sam F. Davis Stakes.
Only 20 points. That's a really, really nice field, and certainly a competitive one. We have a graded stakes winner in here in Poster, who took the Grade 2 Remsen last time out. It's a little while back, though. We got to dial the clock back all the way to December the 7th for that last race.
He's a perfect 3 for 3. He's a 3-year-old son of Munnings, and he's done nothing wrong. 2 wins on the turf. And we go back to the race you were just referencing, Dave. This was his very first start on the dirt at a demanding distance, too, for a 2-year-old at the time, going 9 furlongs.
Yeah, it'll be a cutback to a mount of 16th here. So he knows, we know he can win on the lead. We know he can win from off the pace. The question is, can he win off of the layoff?
3-year-old debut for Godolphin and Owen Hardy for the 7 in Poster, looking to stay undefeated, making his 3-year-old debut in the Sam F. Davis Stakes. Although this is plan B for the connections. Here's what his trainer Owen Hardy had to say. He lost 12 days of training between January 6th and January 22nd due to the weather. This ended any hope of being ready for the Wither Stakes. Plan B was to go to the Tampa race, which is going to be the Sam F. Davis Stakes coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, so this wasn't always the plan. So it wasn't supposed to be this long of a layoff, but he's been there since the 26th, has good work over the track. He appears to be doing well down here, and I'm sure he's grateful for the change in climate, getting down to that warmer weather in Florida.
Look, when you're playing an outdoor game in the wintertime, he's not going to be the only 3-year-old that has a bit of a hiccup and having to call audibles on races and training, but Poster, 4-1 on the morning line, makes his 3-year-old debut. Plan B coming in here to the Sam F. Davis. Right to his inside, Dave. That's where we find our 2-1 morning line favorite. That is Owen Almighty, who won the Pasco, but was disqualified for an incident going into the far turn.
He was disqualified, and the beneficiary of that is Naughty Rascal, who got the win via the disqualification, but Naughty Rascal isn't the one that got in any trouble. Owen Almighty actually interfered with the horse inside of him and had to shuffle that horse back. We'll take a look at that incident going into the turn. Ired's in the white with the black cap and just going to kind of pinball the 4 into the rail. Ooh. And they didn't have any choice but to take him down. But it wasn't really, I don't think it was an intentional move by Ired. It's just a very unfortunate event of circumstances.
And you can see the horse that he impeded there going into the far turn. That horse is not going to beat a horse home. We'll finish up the track. But in the meantime, look, regardless of the disqualification, the takeaway from his 3-year-old debut here was that he was game in the stretch, crossed the line first by a length, but I can understand the reason for the equipment change now for trainer Brian Litch here with Owen Almighty.
So that was at 7 furlongs in the Pasco, stretching out to a mile and 16th. He's 3 for 3 sprinting, but he's 0 for 1 going a mile or further.
Look, just last weekend in the Holy Bull Stakes, Brad Cox had a horse in there in the Holy Bull that ran second off a maiden victory, 1 race going into a stakes race. He does it one more time here with the 3 John Hancock, a son of Constitution, broke his maiden in gate-to-wire fashion, winning by 3 lengths on the 8th of January here at Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I think more times than not, you would want a maiden race and then an allowance race like Disco Time before you make that jump up against Stakes Company. But this win was so nice that they're not going to waste any time and try to get to 20 points with a win here in the Sam F. Davis on Saturday at Tampa Bay Downs.
And you can look at him just coming down to the finish line. He could have won by much more if he wanted to. 3 lengths was the official winning margin. And now Flavien Prat, your Eclipse Award-winning rider from 2024, he goes over there to Tampa Bay, getting aboard for Brad Cox for the first time on the 3 in John Hancock. Let's keep working our way to the inside. Let's go to post position number 2 now. This is Treaty of Rome for Coolmore and Chad Brown. He comes off a second-place finish going a 1-turn mile in the Mucho Macho Man.
Yeah, he couldn't quite get to Guns Loaded. Guns Loaded would come back and finish last, essentially eased in the Holy Bull. The 4th-place finisher, though, of the Mucho Macho Man came back and finished second in the Swale that same day at Coldstream Park. So I think this is probably going to be a live race going forward. It was a nice finish by Treaty of Rome, and he's going to get a chance to pick up some points.
And the Chad Brown barn has been rolling, absolutely firing on all cylinders out there at Tampa Bay Downs. We'll show you some recent statistics for the Chad Brown team, specifically there at Tampa Bay, and how you can apply these stats to the Sam F. Davis Stakes coming up on Saturday. How about his last 10 races he's entered in? 8 wins right there at Tampa Bay.
And there might be a chance that he cross-entered in some of those races and even had two horses.
He won and lost in the same race.
And, you know, he's been known to certainly send a lot of horses into the Tampa Bay Derby, but this race in particular, only one time has he tried the Sam F. Davis, and it was all the way back in 2014. That is a very surprising stat to me.
Treaty of Rome, 3 starts, but this will be his first time going 2 turns. Dylan Davis, who's teamed up a lot with Chad Brown over the last year or so. A lot of races in New York, but now Dylan has moved his tack to Florida at Gulfstream Park. He'll travel over to Tampa Bay Downs for the Sam F. Davis Stakes aboard Treaty of Rome. Who do you like in here, Dave?
So there's a very curious horse in here that a lot of people probably don't even know about because you'd have to dig deep to find a backtrack on him. And we did that. Check this out. Talking about the 9 Smoken Boy.
You're digging into film?
A Kentucky-bred bi-Catholic boy out of a Cairo Prince mare that was racing in Puerto Rico 3 times, 2 sprints, and this was his route debut in the Grade 1. Biggest race for the 3-year-olds there, or 2-year-olds at that point. Look at him blow by horses here, and he is going to end up winning by 9 1/4 lengths. So he went from essentially third to last to first in the blink of an eye, and he could have won by even more. You can see the track is muddy. There's tire track
out there.
There's puddles, and watch this. He's going straight and strong. He's going to drift in, and he's going to go left-handed, and watch him make this turn. I thought maybe initially he jumped a puddle or something. I think it was just the left-handed urging that he didn't run straight. The bottom line is he won by 9, and he could have won by 20.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be a couple things. Now, watching this replay down the stretch, he could just still be a green 3-year-old. He was open up by so many lengths, sort of playing around on the front end. There was a lot of distractions in front of him on the dirt with the tire tracks, though. Maybe he just got to looking around a little bit.
And Paco jumps aboard for the U.S. debut on Smoken Boy.
All right, that's going to be race number 11 on Saturday at Tampa Bay Downs. It's the Sam F. Davis Stakes, and we are offering WinBet insurance on these particular races on Saturday. Race number 11 at Tampa Bay, we mentioned, is the Sam F. Davis, but in addition to all those races, race 9 at the Big A, race 10 at Gulfstream Park, race number 8 at Oaklawn, and how about 2 races in Southern California at Santa Anita, race number 7 and race number 9. Those are your opportunities to take advantage of WinBet insurance, where you can get a racing bonus back up to $10 if that play finishes 2nd or 3rd. Find all the details at racing.fanduel.com.